Hi, I'm Craig Bennett, the Product Development Manager at Zag. In this video, I'll address a pretty common question that we get asked from customers. How do I show or hide fields in BlueWorx? I'll work through two scenarios, hiding a page section and adding a field to a form. This will be a simple demonstration focused on the user interface and doesn't address any programming considerations. Right, now let's switch over to BlueWorx. In this first scenario, the feedback from users is that the partner section in the work order screen is not required. Partners are not used by the company, so they want this section gone. So now let's switch to the SAP GUI and work through how to do that. I open up the Neptune Application Designer and select the extension app that I use to deploy BlueWorx. So customers never change the core application. Instead, they make changes to their own extension app, which isolates their changes from the standard product. Go into display mode, and it'll bring up the Neptune Application Designer and load my application into it. So I'll locate the page that I'm looking for. If I look for partner, okay, so I've found within the page order detail a panel for the partners. This is the one that I want to hide. Right click on it, do an extension, and I want to change to hide this particular section. Add a change, move over to the attributes tab and change the visibility property to false. So that's going to hide it. Activate the application. Now let's move across and take a look at the results. So I'll just reload the page to load the changes that I've just made and activated. Move back into the order that I was just looking at, just going through my history tab. And you can see that the partner section is removed. Okay, it's as simple as that for, in this case, hiding a section. In the next scenario, I want to see the unloading point displayed in the Components tab. So feedback from the customer is that they want to see where the goods should be delivered based upon what was put in the requisition or reservation. So if I have a look at the Components tab at the moment, we can see that we have these details. But what it's not showing is an unloading point. So I want to go and add that in. Let's take a look at the current layout before we make the change. It's important that we look at all the form factors that we're using to understand how we want the new field to be displayed. In this case, the unloading point field can be up to 25 characters long, which is quite a bit. Now on the desktop view, I can see that there's plenty of room for me to put in a new field and that I could locate it to the right of the required field. Now let's switch to the tablet view. I'm using a Chrome browser in the development tools to simulate this. But remember that when you're making changes, you always need to test them on the actual devices. As you can see, things are a little tight here, and I need to pop the value into a new line like the required field is already doing. And now let's switch to the phone view. Of course, it has even less room than the tablet view, and the positioning of this new field on a new line after the existing required field seems to work. So let's go and make those changes now. First thing I'll do is find either through navigation or as a search, find that Components tab. Okay, and it's located it in the order page, which I know is the right one. Here's the tab, and here's the actual table that we want to go and make some changes in. So these are the column headings that we're seeing. So if I switch back over, then we're seeing these columns from left to right, and we're wanting to stick it to the right of the required field. So it's going to go right after this one. So I have to make a column header and then the actual column itself. So I want to add a new component as an extension right after this. And what I'm going to do, just to save myself a little bit of time, is just copy the column from the one above, focus on the extension, and then paste it in there. Rename it, then change the text for it. So as I mentioned before, this field is quite wide, so I need to make enough space in order to be able to fit that in. I'll guess 25. So that's made the column header, and now I have to actually make the column data, if you like. So come down, here's the required date field that's already there. And right after this, I want to go and add a new field. Extension, add. And I want to add a text field. So I'll just go into my library of all the UI5 controls that are available. Text. Give it a good label. And then I need to bind it to the field, the unloading point field. So this shows me all the fields that are available for me to bind to. I just need to find my unloading point. There it is. Bind to that. Okay, so that's pretty much all there is to it. I'm going to go and activate this and then check it out in the browser. So now here I am back over in the browser on my 3 screens, which I've refreshed after activating the application. And you can see the new field has come in as the unloading point. Now just a tip here, what I did is I made some requisition and a reservation so that I could make sure that I was delivering as I wanted. And on one of them, I made it quite a long entry, packing it out with the W's to maximise just how long the field might get to. And you can see it fits in nicely on the desktop view. Now let's go and have a look at the tablet view. Once again, it's looking good. And now over on the phone view. So the changes have been successful across the 3 views that I wanted to see it in. So that concludes this short clip. I hope you found it informative. We have an online product support site with loads of other information, and you're welcome to register and raise a question ticket where you need more information. Thank you for your time.